The following special presentation of the Big Game James Show is proudly presented by ThinkSlinger.org. And now, ahem. Presenting the man who hates cricket. Your host and champion of all things baseball. The one, the only, the exquisitely pleasant Big Game James.
When people think of the New Orleans Pelicans, names like Anthony Davis and Eric Gordon come to mind. But what if I mentioned Shoeless Joe Jackson or Dazzy Vance, ballplayers whose exploits bedazzled baseball fans throughout the United States in the early 20th century? Would you wonder if there's a New Orleans baseball connection? Or would you wonder if we were discussing a new connection to the Black Sox scandal and the city? Join me in today's history lesson as we explore the old world of Dixie and its relationship to professional baseball on today's episode of The Big Game James Show. Welcome, I'm your host, Big Game James, and thank you for tuning in. When people think of baseball, New Orleans sits prominently on that list of cities you would not think about. Perhaps you would think of Chicago or New York, but definitely not the Big Easy. New Orleans, after all, did not begin its life as an American city, but contrary to many people's beliefs, it embraced long ago what is regarded as our national pastime. From T-ball to high school, the Green Waves and Privateers of NCAA fame to our Miami Marlins AAA affiliate, the NOLA Zephyrs, New Orleans is very much a great American baseball city. You see, the Easy got its first taste of the big leagues in 1870. That year, the Cincinnati Reds, then known as the Red Stockings, came to town on a tour to take on Chicago's White Stockings. Crowds flocked to see the teams battle, despite the games being nothing more than exhibitions. It was spring training after all, but neither team had ever seen such a party, or much less a spectacle like New Orleans, and they ended up staying in town for several weeks, just partying the night away. Hey man, that's how we roll. That's how we've rolled since the beginning. A businessman by the name of Toby Hart saw the potential, and by 1887, the newly christened New Orleans Pelicans took to the diamond. They also took the city by storm. The team played its inaugural season at Sportsman's Park, right across from Greenwood Cemetery. Hart moved the team in 1887 to Crescent City Baseball Park, the current site of Jesuit High School's gymnasium, where they brought smiles to baseball fans for years to come. The Pelicans posted an impressive 74-40 record that first season, and they even won the Southern League pennant. One particular player, Abner Powell, was quite the innovator. He came up with the ingenious idea to cover the infield with tarp on rainy days. He also came up with another idea, which was called the rain check, a useful customer satisfaction tool that guaranteed ticket holders admission to the next game following a rainout. He also came up with a lasting promotion called Ladies' Day. That scheme was very simple. Ladies gained free admission to certain games with the idea that single men throughout the city would follow them and pay full price for entry. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? It worked like a charm. The Pelicans saw their fair share of Hall of Fame ballplayers as well. The names Joe Sewell, Dazzy Vance, Earl Weaver, and Bob Lemon can be found in early lineup cards, along with arguably the most notable player to ever don a Pelicans uniform, Shoeless Joe Jackson, who spent the 1910 season entertaining Big Easy spectators with his ruthless play. Despite the team's early successes, Hart was forced to sell the team in 1901. The Pelicans, you see, were in serious financial trouble, and by the end of the 1914 season, they nearly filed for bankruptcy. In stepped Alexander Heineman, one of the team's board members. He took control and moved the franchise a few blocks to the corner of Carrollton and Tulane Avenues. That ballpark was renamed Heineman Park, and in 1938, he renamed it once again to Pelican Stadium until its closure and demolition in 1957. The Pelicans then played at Tad Gormley Stadium for a few seasons before the franchise was sold to an investor from Arkansas in 1961. The Pelicans, however, weren't the only ball club fielding a team in the city. The Negro Leagues fielded several teams, including the Black Pelicans, the Stars, and the Eagles. Hell, even Louis Armstrong threw his hat on the diamond, and he fielded a team consisting of members of the Social Aid Club, so it is thought, Zulu. The Social Aid Club Zulu, whose players' whose identities remained a mystery to this day. He called them Armstrong's Secret Nine. Baseball left town in the 1960s, but soon returned when, in 1977, an Oklahoma oil man named A. Ray Smith moved his team, Tulsa's AAA Oilers, into the Superdome. But, unfortunately, that old charm of Big Easy baseball didn't follow him, and the team hitchhiked it all the way to Springfield, Illinois, after just one miserable season. Eventually, Tom Benson, owner of the beloved New Orleans Saints, acquired the Pelicans name and used it for his NBA franchise, but that's going to have to wait. The New Orleans, getting a little ahead of myself here, ladies and gentlemen. That's how excited I am. The Colorado Rockies began big league play in the early 90s, which meant their AAA team, the Denver Zephyrs, needed to find a new home. A Zephyr, just for your information, in the eyes of a Denver baseball fan at the time, referred to their region's famous streamline train, not the cool westerly winds that welcome springtime to New Orleanians every year. Anyhow, an attorney by the name of Rob Kuhig led a partnership to bring the Zephyrs to the Easy. The team, however, became embroiled in a fierce legal battle before they even played their first game. Saints owner Tom Benson had already acquired a Double-A team and wanted to relocate them to New Orleans, but he also wanted to revive the Pelicans. Major League Baseball did not approve because the relocation of the higher league Zephyrs trumped Benson's wishes. Benson then tried to sue Major League Baseball and the Zephyrs in an attempt to further his claim to baseball in the city, and in what proved to be a shrewd business move, however, Benson did not relinquish the name Pelicans to the Zephyrs, though they badly wanted it. But Zephyrs, it turned out, worked out just fine. That was the name of a big wooden roller coaster ridden by generations of New Orleanians out at the Pontchartrain Beach amusement park. The Zephs then went on to play their first 4 seasons at Privateer Park, which hosts the NCAA's University of New Orleans Privateers. The state then decided to finance and construct a new stadium for the Z's out on Airline Drive in Metairie, and they opened Zephyr Field in 1997. It is still known as the Shrine on Airline, the team's home, and the place where New Orleanians get their close to big league fix every year. The Zephyrs, they are the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Gosh, try to say that one 10 times. Miami Marlins. In the end, despite financial hurdles of the past, the Big Easy has always figured out a way to accommodate baseball, and that, my friends, just ain't changing anytime soon. A big thanks goes out to NewOrleansBaseball.com, the official source for New Orleans baseball history. Also to BaseballReference.com for providing me with such an immense database of statistics to double-check my work and stories from baseball's past. And, of course, a big thanks to you, our loyal listeners. This is Big Game James signing off, and don't forget to visit us on the web at thinkslinger.org and, of course, right here at Spreaker.com/thinkslinger. Until next time, bye-bye, baseball fans.